All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be the Riley Defense AK-103. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know that there's already a part 1 out. I kept the gun in its base configuration, no optic, no changes, no nothing. That is different. This gun is completely different now, and I've made a lot of changes to that, and we're going to go over that here. And also just going to show how the shootability of this rifle increases when making some modifications like the ones you see here. So again, if you don't remember, go check out that part 1. But essentially, you had a base AK-103 with the wooden furniture, no thrills, no nothing, no optics. I used iron sights. I engaged out to distance at 100 yards. And it did the job, but it could have been a lot easier. And so that's what I got going here today. So I'm going to kind of go over the parts that I have and why I chose those. And then we're going to go into some shooting. But right off the bat, again, Riley Defense base AK-103. And that's pretty much all that stayed the same as far as what we had on the first iteration. So starting at the rear, we've got the same stock. This is a triangle skeleton stock, very iconic. I wanted to keep that because it's just a beautiful aesthetic and part of the gun. And so I really wanted to keep that. Going forward, we've got the Riley Defense ergonomic grip that they put out. We've got a Zenico charging handle adapter here. It just makes for a better purchase on the bolt. And it just makes for racking it back a lot easier. This is the magazine that shipped with the Riley Defense AK-103. We kept that because no need to change it. If it works, you know, why change it? On top, we've got a Texas Weapon Systems Gen 3 rail dust cover. If you're not familiar, this attaches to the gun and becomes a permanent addition to it and allows for mounting an optic without having to use the side rail mount here. You can mount it directly to the gun. And the great thing is, and a lot of people have questions about this, is what is the return to zero like when manipulating that action? So personally speaking, I've used this on a lot of guns, and I've never had any issues with it not returning to zero, especially when looking at 100 yards and in. This, as I said, is attached to the gun, so it's just going to pivot forward and up, and then we'll go and return to the way it was before taking it off. As far as my optic goes, I've got the Novus Precision PDS-1. This is a fantastic option, especially for the AK platform. So if you're not familiar with this is Novus Precision's iteration of the 1N87 Russian optic. And I think that they did a really great job as far as reproducing that. And essentially the best way to put it is that this is a Russianized EOTech for the AK platform, which is where that aesthetic really comes into play. It's got some great features, but I'm going to do a video on the optic itself in a separate video. I'm going to have a whole review for it. But needless to say, it's a great optic. And if you're looking for something a little bit different than your traditional options, especially for the AK platform, I recommend picking up the PDS-1. But moving forward, we've got the Midwest Industries railed handguard here. This is a Picatinny top rail with MLOK adapters on the side and bottom. And that's what allows me to make all the modifications that you see on the front end here. So it's a strong base. I really like it. It goes together pretty well. It's extremely solid. I've had this on a lot of guns as well. And so I decided to put it on here. And again, extremely solid lockup and allows for mounting all the options you see here. Pretty reliable. But going forward, I've got the Zenico Purse 4. That is for IR laser as far as night vision shooting goes, and that's where the Goonbeam IR Light kind of a pair to go along with that, so that shooting at nighttime is easy and I can illuminate and see my targets whether it's passive or active aiming. I've got those options. And just on that note, this is night vision compatible as well. I've got a pressure pad on the left side here to actuate the IR illuminator, and then the Zenico has a button here on the end that allows for me to actuate the IR laser, as well as one on top and some adjustment dials. It also is a visible and laser as well, so you've got that option. And then going forward, I've got the classic muzzle brake. I'm a big fan of this muzzle brake. I think it works very well. It does all right as far as flash mitigation goes, but it does really well for recoil management, and that's why I've decided to keep it on there. And then down below, I've got a Magpul vertical foregrip. I chopped it just because it's a little bit more comfortable, and I don't have all that extra space interfering with my magazine like I traditionally would. But I've got this thing absolutely kitted out. Make no mistake, this is a heavy gun, but that's exactly why you need to get in the gym and lift, so they can carry some beautiful monstrosity around like this. We're gonna get into shooting this. We're gonna do a 100-yard just engagement on steel, just to show that it's a lot easier versus your iron sights. And then we're gonna do some close-up CQC types drills and show just how capable this gun is. And then tonight, once the sun sets, we're gonna get into the IR stuff, and we're gonna do some night vision shooting and test out the Purse 4 in addition to this Goonbeam IR Light, and just how this gun does in general. Overall, I think that this package is a very well refined package and very intention driven setup for what we've got going on here. Again, the base rifle from Riley Defense was okay, it got the job done, but this just makes it a force multiplier, especially with the IR setup that you've got up front and shooting at night. But we're gonna cover all these aspects and show that this is worth it and that it makes a difference. And we'll come back on the end and give my thoughts and kind of the overview, a 1,000-round overview, if you will, on how this gun's performed. But let's get into it. All right, so I got the Novus Precision PDS-1 zeroed. I'm at about 50 yards. We're just gonna put a little grouping on paper, and obviously we'll multiply that by 2 to see what our inches would be at 100 yards. So anyways, here we go. Little grouping, I'll do 5 rounds on the silhouette target, and then we'll go measure. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is just some basic drills. We're gonna start with some up-down drills, then some 2 to the chest, 1 to the head drills, and then some 1 reload 1 drills. I really just wanna show the shootability as much as that it, I really just wanna show how much the shootability increases with adding some modifications as the one you see here. And the biggest one's gonna be the optic. The optic just allows for that target acquisition a lot faster than iron sights. And then of course you've got the stuff up here that we'll come to tonight when it gets dark. But for now, really we'll just focus on the optic and how much it helps. So again, we're gonna do just some up-down drills for a start. I'm gonna be off the timer, and I'll give you guys the times as I go. But yeah, here we go. All right. .50. One more time. .50 again. All right, next thing we're gonna do is 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Again, off the timer. .110 again. .111. All right, next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna shoot 1 round, do a reload, and then shoot another round. And as far as my initial feedback on the optic, it's fantastic. It's got a nice bullet drop compensator, and it essentially looks like a Neotech optic, the donut ring, but with that bullet drop compensator included. Nice window, really clear. Target acquisition with this thing is really nice. All right, off the timer. .383. All right, again. .464, a little bit slower. Missed the charging handle there. All right, and then the last thing we're gonna do is a bill drill. It's just 6 to the chest as fast as I can get them off. .119. I'm really happy with that. It makes a difference. Modifications are supposed to be a force multiplier, and that's exactly what they are here on an individual level. And you know, the base gun will do it, it'll do the job. But when you add some stuff like this, I mean, even just an optic alone, you're gonna be able to shoot a lot faster, a lot better, and acquire your targets just that much better. And at the end of the day, I think that'll make you a better shooter if the fundamentals are there. I want to give some of my thoughts on just the kind of the setup that we've got here. I've got a little bit of time before it gets dark. So a couple thoughts. One, it is a heavy gun. It's very front heavy, and I think the skeleton stock and the small grip back here make it a little bit difficult for offsetting that weight. So it is a little bit heavy, but again, get in the gym and you won't have that problem. I like it though. I really like it. The Texas Weapon Systems rail dust cover, the Midwest Industries handguard here, it's a nice match. I mean, it really just brings the whole gun together. I got a beautiful optic up here, the Novus Precision PDS-1. It's fantastic. I really like the reticle, the aesthetic. I mean, everything that you want for an AK as far as that Russian feel, that Russian vibe, you've got it going on here, and I really like that. It's robust, it's durable, and again, I'm gonna have a whole separate review coming for this optic, so stay tuned for that. As far as allowing myself to mount optics and accessories up front here, like the laser and flashlight, I mean, it really does make all of the difference. I've got a grip here that can really help me drive the gun back into my shoulder so that recoil is managed. I've got this IR laser and illuminator that is just gonna be an absolute force multiplier because half the day is dark. And so if you can only shoot one half of the day, I mean, you're already doing yourself a disservice there. But just, I mean, again, the base guns, they can do the job. You can shoot, you can acquire your targets, but when you set it up something like this, you're really helping yourself get all that extra edge against your opponent, against your adversary, you know, whatever it is that you're shooting, even if it's just cardboard. I mean, you're gonna be that much better. And so I think making some changes like this make all the difference. Even the little things such as the charging handle add-on here, I can rip it better. I've got some serrations there that just, you know, grab my fingers better. It's all the little things that come together. And when you pair that with training and getting some trigger time out of the gun, you're gonna be that much better, and just prove to yourself how capable you are. Just build the guns out, train with them, and put them to the test and prove to yourself that the guns are capable and that you're capable. And you get all of that by just getting trigger time and doing some training.